Hello, everyone. Welcome to Diego Knows. I am Diego, and today we are going to talk about episode 4 of the original Sex and the City from the 1990s. All right, this is the old school show, right? Back when the show was good. All right, so I'm here to offer you a straight man's point of view. So basically, I've watched the show since it first came out. I've seen every single episode in both movies, and I'm watching the new show right now. I'm doing a review on that as well as the episodes come out. But I was a big fan of the original show. I think I was the only straight guy that I knew at the time that was watching that show. But all my girlfriends at work, the gay guys at work that I used to work with, because I used to work in Chicago in the big city, big restaurant. And they'd always talk about the show, and I would always have to add in my own 2 cents because no one else was talking. No, there was no straight man's point of view on the show, and there still isn't. So this is my way of kind of giving you women, because I know a lot of women love this show. They used to. I used to watch the show with girlfriends and stuff, and or girls that I was dating, and I would always have to put in my 2 cents because no one ever said what the straight guy was thinking on the show. Nobody cared what the straight guy was thinking on the show. The show wasn't written for straight guys. Okay, the show was written for women and for gay guys. All right, and that was the target audience. Okay, not me. But I always felt that if you're making a show about heterosexual people having sex, then shouldn't there be like a heterosexual voice on the show somewhere? I mean, you wouldn't make like a guy movie without a girl in it, right? Without girls acting like girls in it, right? So I always felt that there was no straight men on the show, so I am the straight guy. So this is me basically having these conversations, but only 20 years later, from episodes that I watched back in the day. And just so you know, I talk about the show from a place of love. Okay, I criticize the show a lot because there's a lot of things I don't agree with, but for the most part, I like the show. I like the characters. I like the stories. I like the boyfriends that they were dating. All the crazy circumstances. The dialogue in the show is a very well written show, even if I didn't always agree with it. All right, so what I'm here to do is to point out what's realistic about the show from a guy's point of view, and what was just complete bullshit. All right, so let's begin. So episode 4 is called "The Valley of the 20-something Guys." So basically, it's about these women. They're in their 30s. Samantha's in her 40s, and they're all talking about what's it like to date younger guys? Why do women do it? Or what do guys get out of it? That kind of thing. Okay, so when we start off with Carrie keeps bumping into Big everywhere in New York. Okay, at one point he's at a funeral or something, but he's wearing a yarmulke like all the other guys. So he's Jewish. Okay, so that's what reveals that Big is a Jewish man. So he's probably in financing, probably in banking, something like that. We never find out what he does for a living. But he deals with a lot of money. So I'm guessing he owns a lot of businesses, or he's in financing, probably in banking. That's what I would think. All right, I don't think he's an executive. I think he owns his own business. All right, so they're there. Brian. Okay, so Carrie mentions Charlotte's new boyfriend. His name is Brian. Don't worry if you don't remember that name because you'll never see him again. He's only in this episode. But Brian meets the 3 criteria that Charlotte has in a man: looks, manners, and money. Okay? So right there, we are establishing what Charlotte looks for in a guy: looks, manners, and money. And this will never change. Okay? She'll compromise some things for others, but bottom line is it's going to be the money. Okay? Looks don't matter. She's screwed guys that are ugly. I mean, look at Harry, right? Manners don't matter because she's slept guys that have no culture. Money matters, okay? Because I don't think Charlotte's ever been with a guy that didn't have a lot of money, okay? I don't think ever. All right, so that's going to stay the same, and unfortunately, that will stay up until the present day. Okay, but anyway, so this is the first time we're meeting this guy. Let's see. I guess they start talking about Miranda and Skipper. Remember Skipper, the beta male nerd guy? Well, apparently she's still having sex with him. Miranda's in her 30s, probably 35, 36, and Skipper is like 27. We find out that he's 27 years old in this episode. So he's a lot younger than her, and Miranda looks at it as a fuck thing. Okay, like she's not in a relationship with Skipper. That's just her regular lay. Okay, like she's just fucking him, whenever she feels like it, basically. Whenever she gets horny, she calls him up, he shows up, they do it. She tells him to get the fuck out, and he does. But he's emotionally invested and she's not. Of course he is. All right, so Big, whatever, they're in a club and they can't hear anything. So they're trying to talk she's calling, because remember, they don't have cell phones. So she's trying to call Big, find out if he's coming. He left a message or something. She can't hear it, the club's too loud. So she doesn't see Big anywhere. So she goes to Samantha's table. And at Samantha's table, we've got this chef named John, who Samantha's fucking because they're making out. And there's another guy there, a young guy there. named Sam. His name's Sam. I recognize him. That's actor Timothy Olyphant. Now, I don't know what the hell he's doing now. Maybe some of you know, but I remember him. He's really young in this episode, but I remember him from Die Hard. He was the bad guy in Live Free, Die Hard. That was the fourth Die Hard movie. It came out in 2007. Okay, I remember that he was the bad guy in that. That's the only thing I've really seen him in. Okay, so I know he's doing TV shows and shit, but I don't watch that stuff. All right, I don't give a fuck. To me, it's Timothy Olyphant, Josh Duhamel, and Ryan Seacrest. They're all the fucking same guy. Okay, they all look fucking exactly alike. All three of them. I dare you to look at three pictures of each one of them in a row, real quickly, and you tell me which one's which. I guarantee you won't make it. All right, you will not guess correctly. Okay, so he's a Timothy Olyphant. All right, whatever. So he's there. Samantha's there. She's introducing him to Sam. So she's kind of like digging this guy, kind of flirting with him and stuff. He offers to get the martinis. Skipper goes to the bar. He brings back a rum and coke from Miranda. Miranda's like, I don't like rum and coke. Of course she doesn't. Of course she doesn't like. She doesn't like anything. The fact that this guy went out of his way to get her something and spent his own money to give to her, of course, that's the reason you would be like, I don't like it. Just like him. I mean, she treats him just like she treats that drink that he brought her. He's just a piece of shit who's there for a reason and fuck off. That's Miranda. And that's so charming, isn't it? Isn't it? But of course, it's Skipper, so he's just going to be like, yes, mistress, whatever you say. Of course. May I lick your asshole too? Yeah, of course he is. Of course he is. She's got the penis in this relationship. But it's not a relationship. It's just a fuck thing. All right. So Big finally shows up just long enough to tell Carrie that he can't see her because he waited outside too long. Then he tried to get a hold of her. Then he tried to look for her. And now that he finally found her, he's only got 10 minutes to go. He's got to get out of here. So bye. So she's all pissed off. So she ends up making out with Sam instead. And Timothy Olyphant, he's got his tongue pierced. I guess that was a thing back in the late 90s. I've never done it, but I guess that was a thing back in the late 90s. I know people have had it. And so she makes out with him. He uses that to get her to make out with him. Hey, look, you want to see something? Look at this. And, whatever. That's the old school pickup moves. Okay. So they leave there. They end up going to a 20-something club. Her and Samantha go to a 20-something club. And she's like, oh my God, everyone in here's in their 20s. And Samantha's like, and so are we. And of course the stereotypes you see, like the underage guy, you got the corporate guy, you've got the groovy guy, you've got the jock guy, So basically these girls are trying to go back in time. They're trying to be, what was it like 10 years ago when we were in our 20s? What are the 20-somethings doing now? Okay, because what the 20-somethings did back then was their thing, okay? If you remember Sarah Jessica Parker, I mean, and she's a big icon in the 80s, okay? I mean, she was in Footloose, for Christ's sake, all right? Square Pegs, remember that TV show? I never watched it either, but she was in it, okay? So she was in a lot of like these teen romance comedies and shit. So she did a lot of stuff. I mean, of course she was, she did the Hocus Pocus, which I've never seen, but I know, kill me, right? But sorry, I'm a guy. I don't watch that shit. All right, so anyway, so her experience in the 80s is different. Now, what the 20-somethings are experiencing in the 1990s is different from what the 20-somethings experienced in the 80s. So she's getting a big, gulp of this right now. Like, oh my God, is this what the 20-somethings are doing now? Just wait till later on the internet takes over, okay? Once the internet shows up in 10 years, it's all fucked. Well, actually, the internet showed up at this time. This is when it first, started to come out. But I wouldn't know. I was in the fucking Marines, dude. I watched this shit when I was in Garrison, all right? The other times I was out in the fucking field fighting communists. All right, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I'm just remember where I was when these episodes were playing. Okay, I was still in the Corps. All right, so she kisses him, whatever. She does not have sex with him. She does not have sex with him. She just makes out with him. Meanwhile, Samantha goes back to John, the chef. Remember the chef of the restaurant they were at earlier? And she has sex with him. And this is the first time we see Samantha naked. So she obviously has no problem showing off her body, okay? And she's going to do it a lot more in the show, okay? So we finally see Samantha naked. Kim Cattrall gets naked. I don't know if she got naked in anything else. And I don't remember her getting naked in Police Academy or Big Trouble in China, but she might have. I don't know. But she gets naked here for the first time. And it's going to be an ongoing thing, okay? From now on, most of the time when we see Samantha having sex, we will see her nude. We're going to see nudity, okay? Because she obviously has no problem with that. So that's going on. So she has a bunch of athletic sex with this guy or some shit. I don't know. He's a fucking chef, for Christ's sake. So, so she has sex with him, blah, blah, blah. And then they're fucking all night. And they show these different positions. And then, yes, it happens. It happens. she bends him over and gives him the Jack Murphy. It's a song by Steely Dan, the old group from the 70s. Remember them? It's called Peg. Take from that what you will. Oh, don't ask me what I think about it. Don't you ask me what I think about that. I don't care what you've seen in those fucking bullshit rom-coms, all right? That's a fucking one-way street, all right? As far as I'm concerned, anyway. I can't speak for anybody else. I'm not discriminating. Just for me personally, that shit ain't gonna happen. Literally, that will not happen. No. Hell no. One-way street. All right. Anyway, that's just between you and me. All right. So, Carrie's smoking a lot of stuff. She's smoking a lot of cigarettes. So the thesis of the episode is called, "What do 20-somethings men see in older women?" So that's the thesis of the whole episode. What do they see in older women? And now we go into the documentary style camcorder interviewing people, which I'm going to tell you right now, I know why they got rid of it, because it's just total bullshit. This scene is a perfect example of that. Okay, you've got four guys in their 20s, all right, who are being interviewed by Carrie as to why do guys like your age want to date older women? And these guys are in the middle of a basketball game. Now, in reality, in real life, if you go to a basketball game to interview 20-something guys, you're going to wait till the game is over, or at least catch them when they're not playing, when they're sitting on the bench, maybe drinking some Gatorade or something. You're not going to interview them with a camera while they're in the middle of the game, you know? Oh, yeah. I date older women all the time. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's great, man. You know what? I call it smart pussy. All the time. Yeah, right. Like, that's just going to happen in real fucking life. Get the fuck out of here. You know, so I'm glad they're getting rid of it, because that's just fucking stupid. You don't interview people in the middle of a fucking basketball game. That's stupid. That's just stupid. Who wrote this shit? Anyway, well, I know who wrote it. Okay, so they're interviewing these people. They give off dumb excuses. Why would they date older women? Feeding the starving. Okay, now we're talking about sexual market value, okay? Older women, I'm sorry, ladies, but it's true for us too, okay? It's true for everybody, okay? We just get over it. At least in Western cultures, it's true, all right? You lose your sexual market value the older you get, all right? In different degrees, okay? It's a lot harder for a 25-year-old guy to have sex with a 25-year-old woman. And you know why? Because a 25-year-old woman tends to look for guys that are more sophisticated, more cultured, more experienced, more money, more, better talkers. And these are going to be guys that are going to be older. It's just like in high school. Remember when you were in high school? Okay, the guys that were 16, the sophomores, could never get a sophomore girl to go out with them. Okay, they had to get like a freshman to go out with them. All right, like the girls. The sophomore girls dated seniors, you know, for the same reason. More money, more experience, more intelligent, more bigger, more everything, you know? So it's kind of the same thing. A young guy who's in his 20s, it's harder for him to get with a 25-year-old girl because she's expecting things that only a 35-year-old guy would have, or things that the 35-year-old guy tends to have. You see what I mean? Usually guys in their 20s don't have a lot of money, unless they're born wealthy, you know, unless they inherited wealth or something. They usually don't have a lot of money. They're still in school. They're still trying to make it up the corporate ladder. They're still trying to get promoted. You know, they're just starting off in life, probably just out of college. Okay, so they're not gonna graduate college and get all this fucking money thrown at them unless they're Ivy Leaguers. They're not gonna get all this money thrown at them. You know, immediately. They're gonna have to work their way up. Whereas a guy who's already like in his 30s or 40s, he's already established himself. He's already got the corner office. He's already got the money. He's already got the place. He's already got all that kind of stuff. So a 25-year-old is going to be more attracted to a guy like that than, a 25-year-old kid who's fucking working at Subway, you know? So yeah, it works both ways, okay? The sexual market value. Now, when your older woman doesn't get the same, I'm sorry, ladies, but the older women don't get to pull in the same kind of guys they pulled in when they were younger. Okay, they just don't. Okay, usually women that are older, they've already got kids, they've already been divorced, they've already had a lot of sexual partners in their past or whatever, and these are things that are not really attractive to guys that are in their 20s, they don't want that, okay? They can get that anywhere, okay? They want the younger girl, fewer sexual partners, more, so it's like these two types of people trying to reach each other, but they're going every other way except towards each other. But every once in a while it does happen. Okay, I mean, I've done it. I've slept with older girls before. Everyone's done it. There's nothing wrong with that. In a lot of ways I prefer it actually. Because they're more sophisticated. They're more got their shit together more. They don't act all psycho like the 20-year-olds do. But the point is that it's harder. It's harder for women that who are older in their 40s, 50s to get younger men, because the guys that are that age are looking for younger women. You see, so I'm sorry, but it's true. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie to you. I told you I'm not gonna lie to you on this show. I'm telling you the truth. All right. So and this is stuff you already know. So that's why they do it. They say like, oh, I'm feeding the stars. So in his point of view, it's his way of like, oh, I'm giving to people that don't have it. Like it's a charity thing. Which is really a bad way to look at it. But, if you're young and you're immature, you could probably look at it that way. I could see that. One guy says, good head and they know wine, which means that these women have more experience than they do, okay? They give good head because they've probably sucked a lot of dick, and they know wine because they've been on a lot of dates, more dates than these young guys have, okay? So they know they're more cultured. I guess that's true. Depends on who the woman is, One guy says, reminds me of mom. That's just sick. That's just gross. Okay. And then Skipper, of course, we find out that he's 27 in this episode. He says, like, because older women know what they want. They know what they are and they know what they want. And I like that. Of course he does. The reason Skipper likes that is because he fucking doesn't know what he wants and he doesn't know what he likes and he doesn't know where he's at. He doesn't know fucking shit. He's got to find a woman to tell it to him because he has no drive. He has no ambition. He has no fucking balls. He has no aggressiveness. He has no penis. He needs a woman to point him the way to go. He needs a woman to tell him what to like, what to not like, what to do. We find out later on that Miranda tells him what to do in the bedroom. Yeah. You do what I fucking say and then get the fuck out. Yeah. And of course, Skipper, of course. If you're a halfway pretty girl and you blink your eyes at him, of course he's going to fall in love with you right away. He's going to start following you around. Yeah, that's the kind of person Skipper is. Anyway, so, yeah, of course he's going to say that. I believe in flowers and respecting women. Yeah, fuck you. Fucking pussy. All right. So that's that. One guy says smart pussy. Whatever the fuck that means. Smart pussy? What, is she going to fucking help you with your homework or something? Is that what he... Anyway, moving on. Miranda and Carrie start talking about why can't they date guys that are in their 30s instead of these 20s? And Miranda's like, oh well, they're there for one reason. Mayor Giuliani got rid of all the 30-something men, single men. He got rid of them like he did the homeless. Like that's a bad thing. He says I date 20-something men because they do it. They will do what I tell them. That's why they do what I tell them. Yeah, I'm sure they do. That's why you're fucking single and can't get a fucking guy. Because you know what happens to guys when you try to tell them what to do? I'm not talking about the Skippers in the world. He don't count. You know what happens to a real man when you try to fucking tell him what to do? Fuck you, bitch. Sorry. Got to call it. And so, and of course, she stresses again that her and Skipper are just a fling. It's a fuck thing. Nothing else going on with that. All right. It's not going to go anywhere. She already says it's not going to go anywhere. All right. So Carrie goes to Banana Republic to go shopping. And she's there with Sam. He's there. They're like on their second date now. And of course, they're making out in the dressing room. And I guess the manager there goes, hey, you can't do that here. This ain't the Gap. So, whoa, a little elitism here. So it's like, I guess because poor people go to the Gap and richer people go to Banana Republic. So therefore, Banana Republic is not acceptable. And the Gap is acceptable because only lowlives go there, right? Right? Is that what they're trying to say? I think that's what they're trying. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that's what I think they're trying to say. We're not the Gap. Yeah, the Gap's got better commercials. What the fuck? I haven't shopped at the Gap in a long time. Are they even still in business? I don't know. All right. Anyway, Charlotte calls Carrie with an emergency. So Carrie's in her bedroom. Charlotte calls her. I got an emergency. What is it? I got to talk to you right now. What is it? Okay, this is it. And it's not just Carrie. She said, we got to get all the girls involved. So everyone's got to get in the fucking limo together. All right, this is the problem. Her boyfriend, Brian, who you'll never see again, wants to put it in the holiest of holies. And he has decided that it will be Charlotte who will be the lucky woman to receive this precious gift. Right in there. Well, Charlotte, obviously, I can tell she's not the type that would be open to that. And, so yeah, that's what this is about. Okay, so she's like, I don't want to do it. I'm afraid. Well, I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. I'm afraid it's going to hurt, but yet I've never experienced it before, so I don't know if I'm going to like it. I'm afraid if I do end up liking it, all this kind of bullshit. Of course, all the girls get involved. They all put their 2 cents in there, after if they've been dating. They've only been dating a few weeks, so it's fucking nothing, all right? And he wants to put it in her ass. He does. He wants to put it in the ass, some cornholing. All right. So all the girls get involved. They're all talking about it in the car. Miranda says, like, whoever has the dick has the power. So you hold the dick. You decide how much of it goes in because you have the dick. You have the power. Not him. Not him. You. You grab his dick and it belongs to you now. You control it, not him. Of course she would say that. That's probably what she does. Okay, and then of course, well, how much do you like him? Like that fucking matters. I don't. Who cares? Of course, Samantha. It's just another fucking hole. Who cares? A hole's a hole. Fuck your ear. You can fuck your ear too if you want. I mean, what the hell? It's a hole. Fuck it. What does it matter? It's just sex. No big deal. Just do it. Speed bumps. Yeah, they actually hit a speed bump. That's a preview. They call it a preview. I don't know. I like personally my situations here. Okay, just me personally. Without getting too personal, of course. I let women. I think women should bring up that topic. All right. If a woman wants that, she'll let a guy know. If she wants that, she'll let a guy know. And then it's up to the guy to see if he wants to, go where men have gone before. It's a personal thing. Everyone's different, Some of these girls you see out there that act like they would never do that are actually the ones that like it. And then the girls that act like they would do that, do it all the time, like 5 times a day, they're actually like, no, it's gross. So, just let the woman decide. It's just, she's going to decide that, all right? And if she wants it, she'll tell you, okay? Fuck all that bullshit you see, even in this episode, it's bullshit, okay? And maybe it does happen, I don't know. But from my experience as a guy, women will tell you, all right? Women will fucking tell you. They'll let you know. Do it and do it hard. I like it. Okay, time to go to town. Yeah, none of this bullshit. You asked me. How dare you ask me that? That's disgusting. Yeah, fuck you. No, literally. That's no. It depends on who it is. Okay, some guys find that disgusting too. Some guys will refuse to do it. Some guys will be like, fuck no, I ain't going in there. You think I want to get that on my dick? Yeah, some guys will be like, no. And yes, I talk from experience. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, this ain't about me, this is about the episode. All right, so Carrie goes on a date with Big, and he brings his friend with him on a date. So it's not private with him and Big. His friend is there. Big says, oh yeah, well, his wife divorced him and he's crying and I don't want to leave him alone. So I invited him as a third wheel. Do you forgive me? And she's like, yeah, you and him just hang out. I'm leaving. He's like, are you sure? And she's like, abso-fucking-lutely. In other words, Big brought this guy to their private date. He already stood her up on the other date that they had. So yeah, I can understand. She's pissed off. Now, she goes over to go fuck Sam. But she actually did it the right way. And what I mean by that is, you remember the first episode when Charlotte was with that guy, and that guy, he invited her to stay to spend the night. She said, no, I don't know you well enough yet. And then they end up sharing a cab, and she says, why are you sharing a cab? And he's like, oh, because I want to go get laid. You know, that's not how it happens in real life. The way Carrie did in this episode, that's how it happens in real life. Okay, you can't see me? Fine, I'm going to go do something else. Bye. And then once I'm gone, I'm going to call my fuck buddy. You know, that's something guys would do. Okay, and Carrie does it here. All right, so she goes to see the other guy because the guy she wanted to see can't see her tonight, or not. It's not going to be private and intimate like she wanted. So she goes to meet Sam at the club. Okay, yeah. So she leaves Big there. She goes to meet Sam at the club. Meanwhile, Charlotte is getting undressed with Brian, and she starts freaking out. Like, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm afraid of this. I don't know what I want to be the butt. I don't want to be the up the butt girl. No one respects the up the butt girl. Hey, you know what? No one respects the girl that tells everyone she gets it up the butt all the fucking time. Okay? No one respects that girl. Okay? But if you keep your sexual life private, then no one's going to fucking know. You know, only you are going to know. And your girlfriends, because you tell them everything. But that's it. So what? You know, I think Charlotte just has a problem with that, and it's fine. Hey, you know, I'm never going to tell anyone what they can or cannot do in the bedroom, all right? Consenting adults means just that, okay? As long as everything's consensual and it's only adults involved, do whatever the fuck you want. Do whatever you want. You want to bring in, as long as no kids or animals, you know, that's, you know, with those, you know, do whatever the fuck you want. You know, you want to bring in toys in there, if that's your fucking thing, do it, man. There's a lot of freakos out there. And there's nothing really freaky about it. I'm not trying to make a judgment call here. I'm not. And I know there's a lot of people like to do a lot of different things, you know. But I'll do it. If someone's not comfortable doing it, then just don't do it. Just don't do it. That's it. And Charlotte's not comfortable with this. And the guy's actually cool. I said, okay, we'll just have sex normal way. Like that was ever not on the table or something. You know, like that was not an option. Of course it's an option. You know? Or they could just not have sex. You know, come on. It's like, well, big deal. She want to do it, she'll want to do it. All right, you know? There's girls out there that are scared to do things like that. You know? And not just that, there are other things too, you know? I once knew a girl who, never mind. Hey, whoa, you almost got me there. No, I ain't going to go there. All right. So anyway, so that's what happens. So they end up being like, let's just have sex the normal way. Boom. That's that. Okay, so Carrie ends up having sex with Sam. But before that, Samantha. We got to talk about Samantha. Samantha's having sex with John again, the chef. And they're doing it every which way. Blah, 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 you know. No inhibitions, you know. None of this, I don't want to be the butt girl stuff. Samantha wants to be the everything girl, all right? So they're all doing everything, okay? And then John does something. He looks at her and he goes like, you know what? In this light, those wrinkles of yours make you look so beautiful. Well, Sam didn't take it very well. Samantha didn't take it very well. Okay, now I'm going to raise the bullshit flag. Okay? If a man is attracted to a woman and he's having sex with her and he wants to pay her a compliment, like you're so beautiful, you know, or something like that, you know, he's not going to do it by pointing out her flaws. For example, let's say that you're having sex with your boyfriend or something, right? And then you look at him and you just had great sex. And then you look at him and you go like, you know what? That penis of yours might be little, but it's so good. Okay, you're probably not going to see him again. Or he's going to get mad, or he's just going to fucking leave or something, all right? You know why? Because you insulted him in your attempt to compliment him. Okay? That's what happens here. He insults her by pointing out that she's got wrinkles. Okay? She fucking knows she's got wrinkles. She sees herself in the mirror. She sees herself more than he sees her. Okay? He knows she's got wrinkles. But he tells you, look, your wrinkles make you even more beautiful. Or something like that. You know? That's not the way you compliment somebody, okay? And most guys know that's not how you compliment. This guy's a chef, okay? So he went to chef school, and he's cooking at this place, this Lux place, this really nice place in New York. So he's not a total idiot. He's got social skills, all right? You don't do this. No normal guy would do this. No normal guy would compliment a girl like that. Because they're going to take it as an insult. Anybody would take it as an insult. It's not rocket science. You don't have to be smart to know that. That you can insult someone while disguising it as a compliment. They're only going to remember the insult part. You see what I mean? So, that was just not realistic to me. If he wanted to get rid of her, if he's like, okay, I've been sleeping with this old broad long enough, it's time for me to get rid of her. I don't think he would do it that way. I think he'll be more direct about it. He'll be more like, hey, this was fun, but, I'm not feeling it. So, take care of yourself. Okay. He wouldn't be like, insult her. Okay. Because now he's hurting her feelings on purpose. Now, I think this guy, like all the straight guys on the show, they're all stupid. I think this guy is just stupid. And he didn't realize that he hurt Samantha's feelings when he said that. Most guys aren't this stupid. All right. And if this guy was this stupid, he would have displayed that already. And so I don't think Samantha's the kind of girl that would fuck the same guy over and over again if he was a total idiot, if he had no social skills, okay? The fact that he was a chef in this nice new club that she wanted to go to already put him on her radar, okay? If this guy was just an idiot who didn't know how to talk to women or something, I don't think she would really be turned on by him, She'd probably sleep with somebody else. But the fact that she was sleeping with this guy over and over again, making out with him on the dinner table, bragging about him to her friends, and yet he's so stupid he would say something like this, like, oh, your wrinkles make you so beautiful. That's just crap. I call bullshit on that. I don't think he's that stupid. But it's written by, the show's written that way for, like I said, the straight men suffer every time. So they just made him, because he's a straight guy, they just made him an idiot that didn't realize it. It went totally over his head. He didn't realize he assaulted her. And so Samantha says, I'm getting the fuck out of this, So, fine. All right, but I'm just calling bullshit. All right, that's not how it would go down in real life. All right, so like I said, Carrie sleeps with Sam at his shithole. Well, she's too fucked up to see the apartment when she fucks him. But the next day when she wakes up, she looks around and she realizes that she's in a shithole. Now, and I'm just going to point this out real quickly. Okay, Carrie does mention that Sam spoons her. I guess she's never been spooned before, or this is the first time she's ever been spooned because she had to go out of her way to mention it. Who gives a fuck? I'm assuming when I'm watching this show that they're having sex in more than just one position, okay? They're having all sorts of sex, okay? So the fact that she called out that he spooned her, which means that they were only doing it one way, and then he surprised her by doing it a second way, and that was it. I don't buy that either. I'm just pointing it out because she pointed it out. I wouldn't have said nothing if she hadn't said nothing. So anyway, so that's that. She wakes up, she realizes that this guy's apartment is a shithole. And his apartment does look like shit. Now, I'm trying to think of myself in the 20s, all right? I never had an apartment like that when I was in my 20s. That was that shitty. Because I was in the Marines, okay? And in the Marines, we have something called field day that we had to do every Thursday. And our rooms got inspected every Friday morning, okay? So if your room looked like shit, you would get in trouble, all right? Big trouble. Okay, so it was a habit for me to always clean my room every Thursday night. So when I got out of the Corps and I got my own apartment, I lived with my older brother. He had his room and I had my room, and he had the place looking like a shithole. It did. It didn't look as bad as this, but it wasn't much better. Okay, so once I got there, I started cleaning up the place, top to bottom. All right, because I could not live in that kind of filth. All right, and I did. Of course, I left his room, so his room was a shithole. But the rest of the apartment was not a shithole. It was clean. And I made sure I cleaned it every week, all right, myself. All right. So, no, I did not live like that. But I do know guys that do live like that, okay? And yeah, it is kind of gross. It is. You got the pizza, you got the shit in the sink, you got the dirty floors, the clothes everywhere. I mean, yeah, I've been in apartments like that before, all right? I've been in girls' apartments like that before, too. Yeah, you girls are no better than us, all right? And, and she's got to go take a piss, and he's got to make the coffee for her because she can't do nothing without coffee. That's true. He's got no coffee. There's no toilet paper there, which means that, and they didn't mention that she did not wipe the seat. So she sat on a fucking unwiped toilet in a stranger's apartment, and then there's some weird guy walking around with his shirt off, Who the fuck is this guy? He's like, oh, that's my roommate. She's like, you're out of toilet paper. He's like, oh, I'm using the last of it to make the coffee. Okay, that's funny. That's funny to use toilet paper to make coffee. Okay. I've never done that, but I thought that was a funny joke. That was funny, So she realized, hey, I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Okay. And she goes to buy some shoes because I guess that's what she does. She got to go do her Manolo Blahnik shopping. That makes her feel better and bankrupts her. So she leaves there and she runs into Big again. I guess she's walking down the street and he's under the table. They're at an outdoor patio and he's trying to fix the table so it quits, doing the thing. And she talks to him, whatever. And he asks her out on a date. And she says, maybe later, blah, blah, And he says something about puzzles. And she's like, well, I'm good with crossword. Maybe you can help me with my crossword puzzle. She's like, I'm good with crossword puzzles. I'm not good with people puzzles. See the flirting, the banter. Ooh la la. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, and he asks her out. She says, maybe later. She kind of blows him off without really blowing him off, Good thing she didn't tell him she just fucked the guy. Because that probably would have turned him off. And she's excited to see Big. And then she leaves, and that's the end of that. Well, what did we learn in this episode? We learned not too much. We learned that they don't want to date in their 20s. We learned that Charlotte does not like it up the ass. That Miranda's a bitch and Skipper's a pussy. That Carrie doesn't really want to date guys in their 20s anymore because they're immature, they're dirty. They have the 3 B's, which means they know all the bouncers. What was it? It was bouncers and something. I don't know. I don't remember. Bouncers and butts or something. Whatever. So she knows, basically they're saying that 20-something guys are just like, they're just there, but they haven't evolved yet into men. And she wants to be with a man, not with a boy. You see? I mean, physically they're men, but emotionally, intellectually, they're not men yet. They haven't matured yet. So she wants to be with a more mature guy like Big. And that's just what I mentioned earlier, Younger women want to get with older guys. Even women in their 30s, they want to get with guys that kind of have their shit together, financially, emotionally, intellectually, professionally, culturally, So yeah, I can see that. And that's where we are. Okay, so that was episode 5, was it? Yeah, whatever. It was the 20-something, episode 5. So anyway, so we watched it, Reliving the 90s again. It's kind of fun. I'm going to review the next episode here, and I'll post it here real soon. In the meantime, I am watching that And Just Like That, and I am reviewing those.